I am Titilayo Olamide. I had the news report for the day. Fight insecurity as we fought COVID-19, Iyejirika tax government. Former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Azubike Iyejirika has urged the federal and state governments as well as Nigerians to fight insecurity in the way they fought COVID-19 and won the battle. Iyejirika, who stated this while delivering a keynote address at the Leadership Capacity Building Conference tagged Leadership Impact in 21st Century Nigeria, organized by the Students' Union Government of the Methodist Theological Institute, MTI, Japanese Umoya, explained that in the fight against COVID-19, there was no religion, party, tribe, or whether citizens work in the ministry or private organization, as well as all Nigerians joined hands in the battle. He insisted that the insecurity will become a thing of the past in Nigeria if the same resolve is adopted by the federal and state governments and the citizens against the menace. Iyejirika urged those in authority to do their best to restore security as the people are already distressed. He also advised the priests to stop spreading messages without verification, as this may create hatred and fear among the citizens who will believe them once they receive such messages from priests that they hold in high esteem. It said in quotes, "As Christians and leaders, we must seize every opportunity to condemn violent crimes and the spreading of hatred. When you receive messages from social media and send it without first scrutinizing it, you contribute to spreading fears," the retired general explained. Spreading fears will not help anybody. Rather, it will worsen our condition. Plus, 2 officers killed as gunmen attack another Abia police station. No fewer than 2 police officers have been killed following an attack on the Ampumiri Ubakala police station in Umuahia South local government area of Abia State. It was gathered that the gunmen stormed the police facility in the early hours of Monday, razed down the police station and burned some vehicles. The Commissioner of Police, Janet Adbede, is yet to address journalists on the incident. According to Channels Television, it was learned that the slain officers were 2 males and their bodies have been deposited in the morgue. Security formations in the southeast have been targeted by gunmen of recent, with Abia State recording no fewer than 3 attacks on police formations in less than 3 weeks. Just 5 days ago, 2 policemen were injured when armed men stormed a police formation in the Bende local government area of the state. A group of hoodlums in a large number were said to have attacked the police station on the lines and set it on fire, while the 2 policemen injured during the attack have been taken to a hospital for medical attention. The police command vowed not to rest on its oar to flush out the perpetrators. The Commissioner of Information in Abia State, John Okiyi, who confirmed the attack on the police station on Thursday, was of the opinion that Abia has remained one of the safest states and called on those behind attacks on government facilities in the state to have a rethink. Also on Monday night, hoodlums attacked a police facility located at the Trade Mall Estate in Umuahia, the state capital. While no life was lost in the incident, one of the police personnel on duty sustained an injury and has been taken to a hospital for treatment. And still on the news report, NLC forces cuts of power supply. The Kaduna State Government and the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) are set for a showdown as workers in the state began a 5-day warning strike midnight over the mass retrenchment of their colleagues. The national leader of the NLC had on May 10 ordered the work boycott with a vow to be physically present in the state till the Nasir El-Rufai government reinstated the sacked workers and changed its anti-labor policies. The team is expected to arrive the state today, but the governor yesterday stood his ground, accusing the Ayuba Waba-led NLC leadership of being hypocritical and an appendage of the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP). Before the strike's commencement, residents of the state had been thrown into darkness and made to spend hours at filling stations in search of petrol. The blackout started 12 noon yesterday. It was gathered that the NLC had directed two of its affiliate unions, the National Union of Electricity Employees and Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, to withdraw their services in the state. El-Rufai, in a text tweet, insinuated that the People's Democratic Party was behind the labor union's actions. In the tweet, a response to a post by at PDP Vanguard, a platform dedicated for the PDP on Twitter, the governor wondered why the NLC, which had yet to implement the National Minimum Wage Act 2019 for its own employees, should see its government as being anti-labor. The head of service, Bayratu Mohammed, and Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Jafar Sani, had on Saturday maintained that the government would not make a U-turn on the sacked workers. They said at a news conference that the mass retrenchment was necessitated by dwindling revenues. The two officials reminded Waba that the 2019 warrant for his arrest over the alleged vandalization of government facilities substituted. Earlier yesterday, the management of Kaduna Electric had attributed the power outrage to the warning strike. The company's head of corporate communication, Abdulaziz Abdullahi, appealed to all communities, security agencies, and vigilance groups to be vigilant so that men of the underworld would not cash in on the situation to vandalize power supply in the nation. And with this, we move to the foreign scene. Israel kills 42 in Gaza as Netanyahu wants war will go on. Israeli airstrikes on Gaza City flattened 3 buildings and killed no fewer than 42 people yesterday, Palestinian medics said. Despite the heavy death toll and international efforts to broker a ceasefire, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the fourth war with Gaza's Hamas rulers would rage on. Netanyahu, in a televised address yesterday, said the attacks were continuing at full force and would take time. Israel wants to level a heavy price from the Hamas militant group, he said. He was flanked by his defense minister and political rival Benny Gantz in a show of unity. Since violence flared last Monday, at least 188 Palestinians, including 55 children, have been killed in the Gaza Strip. More than 1,200 others have been wounded. In the occupied West Bank, Israeli forces have killed at least 13 Palestinians. Israel has reported 10 dead, including 2 children, from the thousands of missiles fired from Gaza by Hamas and other Palestinian groups, many of which were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome air defense system. The Israeli air assault early yesterday was the deadliest single attack, marking the worst fighting since their devastating 2014 war in Gaza. The airstrikes hit a major downtown streets of residential buildings and storefronts over the course of 5 minutes after midnight, destroying 2 adjacent buildings and one about 50 meters down the road. The Gaza Health Ministry said 16 women and 10 children were among those killed, with more than 50 people wounded, and rescue efforts are still on the way. Earlier, the Israeli military said it destroyed the home of Gaza's top Hamas leader, Yahya Sinwar, in a separate strike in the southern town of Khan Younis. It was the third such attack in the last 2 days on the homes of the senior Hamas leaders who have gone underground. Israel appeared to have stepped up strikes in recent days to inflict as much damage as possible on the Hamas as international mediators worked to end the fighting and stave off an Israeli ground invasion in Gaza. But targeting the group's leaders could hinder those efforts. A United States diplomat has been deployed in the region to de-escalate tensions. The United Nations UN Security Council was also meeting yesterday. In its airstrikes, Israel has leveled a number of Gaza City tallest office and residential buildings, alleging they contain Hamas military infrastructure. Among them was the building housing the Associated Press office and those of other media outlets. The latest violence broke out in East Jerusalem last month when Palestinian clashed with police in response to Israeli police tactics during Ramadan and the threatened eviction of dozens of Palestinian families by Jewish settlers. And still on the news, South Africa begins second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. South Africa on Monday launched its second phase of COVID-19 vaccination, targeting people who are age 60 and above. Health Minister Zweli Mkhize said late Sunday that the target would be achieved if the anticipated orders of vaccines were delivered on time. South Africa earlier this year purchased AstraZeneca vaccines and sold them to other African countries following fears that they would be less effective. Then, after it started inoculating health workers using the Johnson & Johnson jabs, it had to pause for 2 weeks mid-April to vet risks over blood clots that had been reported in the US. After a brief lull, infections have climbed by as much as 46% between the last week of April and the first week of May. South Africa has the largest number of coronavirus cases in Africa, with more than 1.6 million infections and over 35,000 deaths. And that brings us to entertainment news. Miss Mexico crowns Miss Universe 2021. Miss Mexico was crowned Miss Universe on Sunday in Florida after fellow contestant Miss Miami used the stage time to draw attention to the bloody military coup in her country. Sunday night marked the Miss Universe competition's return to the television after the pageant was cancelled in 2020 for the first time due to coronavirus pandemic. Andre Mezas, 26, finished first ahead of the Brazilian and the Peruvian finalists in a flashy televised event hosted by American actor Mario Lopez and television personality Olivia Cooper. Former Miss Universe contestant Cecilia Crist, Paulina Vega, and Demi Glab-Tebo, who won the title in 2017, served as competition analysts and commentators, and a panel of 8 women determined the winner. Dressed in a sparkling red evening gown, Mezar cheerfully walked the catwalk as Miss Universe for the first time before rushing back for a group hug with the other competitors. Mezar beats more than 70 contestants from all around the globe in the 69th installment of Miss Universe, which was held at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. In the days heading up the final competition, Miss Miami, who made the top 21, made waves when she used her time in the spotlight to bring attention to the coup in her country. Miss Singapore, who did not make the top 21, also used the national costume portion to make a political statement. Dressed in a glittering red bodysuit and matching high boots, she turned round to reveal her cape in the colors of the Singaporean flag was painted with the world's top Asian aides. And reports getting to us, Microsoft board investigated Bill Gates' intimate relationship with employee. Possible reasons for Melinda Gates' divorce from her billionaire husband, Bill Gates, are beginning to come out as new reports allege the Microsoft co-founder is engaged in relationship with women connected to the company. A report in the New York Times on Sunday, May 16th, detailed how Gates allegedly pursued several women connected to Microsoft and its foundation, developing a reputation for questionable conduct in work-related settings, the paper reported. However, according to the Times, it was Gates' friendship with sex offenders Jeffrey Epstein, whom Gates allegedly stayed close to, even after Epstein was convicted for soliciting sex with girls as young as 14, that annoyed Melinda Gates, reportedly setting in motion the divorce process. Microsoft's board of directors hired a private law firm to investigate a decades-old intimate relationship Bill Gates had with a company employee. The investigation, according to a company spokesman, took place in the months before the billionaire resigned from the board last year. Another story on Sunday in the Wall Street Journal reported Microsoft's board decided that Gates should step down last year, while the prior romantic relationship that was deemed to be inappropriate was still being reviewed. But Gates has denied that his retirement was due to the investigation. He also said the relationship happened 20 years ago and he had been planning retirement for a long time. A spokeswoman for Bill Gates wrote in a statement shared with NPR, he said, and quote, "There was an affair almost 20 years ago, which ended amicably. Bill's decision to transition off the board was in no way related to this matter. In fact, he had expressed an interest in spending more time on his philanthropy starting several years earlier. It is extremely disappointing that there have been so many untruths published about the cause, the circumstances, and the timeline of Bill Gates' divorce," the Gates spokesperson told NPR. The rumors and speculations surrounding Gates' divorce are becoming increasingly absurd, and it's unfortunate that people who have little to no knowledge of the situation are being characterized as sources. Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft and one of the wealthiest people in the world, is estimated to worth nearly 130 billion US dollars. He has attracted new scrutiny in recent weeks following his divorce from Melinda Gates earlier this month, ending a 27-year marriage. The marriage was irretrievably broken, Melinda Gates wrote in a court filing. In March 2020, he announced he was stepping away from the Microsoft board and leaving his board seat at Hathaway to devote more time to philanthropic causes, including global health and climate change initiatives. Gates' resignation came 3 months after the Microsoft board had re-elected him to his seat. And with this, we move to sport news. Oshoala wins ULC as Barca hammers Chelsea in final. Nigerian striker Aishat Oshoala was the late substitute as Barcelona produced an emphatic display to brush aside Chelsea 4-0 in the Women's Champions League final on Sunday. It was the Spanish side's first title, and they did it in style at the Juvelis Stadium in Göteborg, Sweden, topping the English champions. Oshoala, who had been out of action with injury, was brought on as a 71st minute substitute for Jennifer Emaso after passing a late fitness test. Barcelona took the lead after the ball rebounded off Melania Lupos for an own goal after hitting the crossbar. The Catalans soon doubled their lead through Arsenia Putellas, who scored from the spot in the 14th minute after Emaso was adjudged to have been fouled in the box. The 2-goal lead soon became 3 in the 20th minute when Anyatana Bonmati warded off pressure from Jessica Carter to slot the ball into the net after a through pass from Emaso. Barca completed the rout in the 36 minutes with a simple tap-in from Caroline Essen. Oshoala had the opportunity to make it 5 but was denied by a last-ditch tackle by Nyam Charles. She also had the ball in the back of the net, but it was ruled out for offside. The win makes Oshoala the first African to win the Women's Champions League title. The 4-time African Women's Footballer of the Year had been involved in the Barca's previous appearance in the final, a 4-1 defeat to Lyon, where she scored her team's solely 3 goals. Plus, Tyson Fury confirms heavyweight fight with Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury has confirmed his heavyweight fight with Anthony Joshua. Fury took to his social media last night to declare that a heavyweight unification bout with his British rival will take place on August 14th in Saudi Arabia. Joshua, 31, holds the WBA, WBO, and IBF belts, while Fury, 32, is the WBC champion. In a video posted to Twitter, Fury said, "I have got some massive news. I have just got off the phone with Prince Khalid of Saudi Arabia, and he told me this fight is 100% on August 14th. All eyes of the world will be on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I cannot wait. I repeat, cannot wait to smash Anthony Joshua on the biggest stage of all time. This is going to be the biggest sporting event ever to grace the planet Earth. Do not miss it." And with this, we've come to the end of the Gallery TV news update at 2. I am Titilayo Olamide. Don't forget to join us by 4 p.m. for yet another update. Thanks for watching. Do have a lovely afternoon.
In life,
it is here again. Are you an artist looking for a place to produce and promote your musical videos?
Or a content creator in need of a platform to air your program?
The Gallery TV got you covered.
At the Gallery, we provide world-class production services
such as
event coverage,
promotion and production of musical videos,
studio rental,
live streaming of events.
We also provide airtime for your program on all our platforms.
These and lots of other interesting packages, all at an affordable price with a 10% discount.
For more details, you can visit us on our website at www.thegallerytv or on our social media platforms at The Gallery TV on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The Gallery TV, we set the pace.